This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
I hereby call to order this Tuesday, May 21st meeting of the Easthampton Planning Board. This meeting is being held virtually online. If for whatever reason this meeting gets disconnected and we can't get it up in a reasonable 5 to 10 minutes time, it will be pushed to our next regular meeting, which is June 4th at 6 o'clock. I do want to note that I'm acting chair tonight as Jesse has recused himself from the one thing we're dealing with. And before we get to that, I want to ask if there's anyone here that wishes to speak to something that is not on the agenda. Looking around, I think there's ways to raise your hand in Google Meet. I don't know what they are. It used to be star something, but there's a little hand icon, I think, at the bottom. If anyone wants to say anything, going once, going twice, and moving on. The only item on our agenda tonight is 282 Loudville. The applicant's asking for a review of potential changes to the approved plans. They're looking to change the townhouses from a ranch style to a cottage style. Townhouse and yes to garden style, apparently. And then the statement is that a change would slightly reduce the footprint of the buildings, and we're looking to see if this is a de minimis change so that we don't have to reopen the public hearing, or if we decide that we do. Is the applicant here to speak on this?
Yes, thank you. I had to get myself off mute. So I'm Joseph Kelly. I'm one of the partners of Pineview Development, LLC. For the record, 632 Westfield Street in West Springfield, Massachusetts, 01089. And as you mentioned, so we had two styles, or two floor plans for the development. We had garden, one-story floor plan, and that was going to be made up of duplex-style units and or duplex units and standalone units. And then we had a townhouse-style, 2 stories, and there were going to be 3 townhouses that were standalones. We've had a lot of interest going back to our last project as well, with one floor living. So we're hoping to have the option to be able just to convert, instead of doing the 2-story townhouses, just make everything a garden style unit. So they would essentially be one floor plan, all exactly the same. 4 would be duplexes, and the 6 would be standalone units. But you know, little to no impact. They're actually, I think, a foot or 2 smaller as far as the footprint goes. So it would definitely be an improvement, and you would have all 1-story units versus a few 2-story.
Well, let me ask real quick, and you just stated this, but I'm just doing this by way of confirmation. The 4 duplexes that were originally approved are remaining unchanged. Is that correct?
Correct.
The only thing that's remaining that is changing here is the 6 buildings, which were to be a mix of townhouses and garden, will now be all garden.
Correct. Correct. There's only 3 townhouses out of that 6, which would all be garden. Yeah.
Got it. So we're changing 3 of them. And can you please share your screen again? I just want to highlight for everybody exactly where those are. Whoever was sharing screen.
I think Dylan had that
back up there.
Yep. Okay, wonderful. And I just want to, Dylan, if you could use your mouse to point to the townhouses. They're in the middle of each of that section and down in the middle below. Those are the ones that would change to the garden style. Dylan, if you don't mind me putting a little more on you, do you happen to have the diagrams of the townhouse and the garden style? I don't care so much about. Let's take just a quick look at the townhouse, the ones we're getting rid of.
Let me make sure this is the right one. Is this one here the townhouse?
That's correct, Dylan. Yep. Thank you.
Okay. So this is the style you won't be going with for 3 of the buildings. You said the footprint's a little different. Can you?
It's almost identical. It's just a foot smaller, not as deep.
Is that the only change between the 2? I thought one was a ranch style and the other was not.
There are, but the first floor is almost identical. So yeah, the ranch style. So the townhouse is 2 stories, but they almost have identical footprints. It's just one stops on the first floor, the other one goes up.
What's the height difference between the townhouse and the garden?
The height, I mean, I think we did 8-foot ceilings, 8-foot floor. So I'm not positive with the roof pitch, but I'd probably say anywhere from 8 to 12 feet.
4 plus 9 plus 15, right? 13 and 19, 28, something, 28 too, something like that.
Joe, do they both have basements, or is it just the new one, the garden style, and has a sub, a basement? Is the other one, was it just a slab on grade with 2 floors? Because essentially you're still getting the 2 floors, you just got one subterraneous, right? Or was I reading the plans wrong?
They're all going to have foundations. Yeah, all going to have full basements.
Basement.
Yeah.
Full basement.
Yep.
Okay.
And 3.
So that was the same regardless of the house type.
Correct.
Okay. Gotcha.
And 3 of these were going to be these anyway and had been approved. We're just saying, instead of doing the other type, we're going to keep them all consistent in this design.
Yeah, we just have a lot of demand for the garden standalones, and we just want to be able to not turn some away, because we only have, I think, one or two left on the garden standalone. So we'd love to be able to.
So it's more of a supply and demand is driving this.
Yeah.
It is. I personally love the townhouse, but I mean, what's selling and what's been in demand for the demographic has been the gardens. And since the footprints are almost identical, again, the gardens are a little bit smaller, I think by a foot. We're hoping to be able to accommodate the interest we have.
And the finishings and colors, is it the same for all 6, or is there going to be some slight variation to separate them, or what's the plan for that?
So my partner Craig Author is on the call. Craig, are we doing every other building for different colors?
Yeah, so it's going to be similar to Stepler. I think on Stepler there's a color called graphite, which we are going to use on here, and then over at Stepler there was a kind of a dark blue where we're going to step it back a little bit, and there's kind of a medium blue called steel blue that we're going to be using here. So every other building will be going that. And what's nice with this project though is with it's kind of almost in different not both but first and.
We're breaking up a little bit. I'm losing you.
The cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Oh.
Try again, please.
Am I there?
Yep,
am I there? You can hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I think you had just talked about this, the different colored blue, and then you were going into something else.
Oh yeah, I was just saying that when you first pull in, there's only 3 buildings there, so you're just going to have every other color on those 3 buildings. Then you travel down the cul-de-sac, and once again, it's just 3 buildings. So it's every other color, and then right now what we have approved is the 4 buildings on the right. So we think that's going to be a nice mix instead of adding more colors. So we're going to go to 2.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Oh, and also to answer you on the roof pitches, the roof pitches were very similar. The Cape style had a little more pitch than the ranch, but you basically couldn't even tell. We didn't need a lot of pitch to it because the building was 50 feet deep, so we could go with a light pitch and we still were able to get the rooms. We didn't have to go, with a 12-12 pitch like a standard Cape, to get that room height. We didn't need it because the building is so deep. So the roof pitch from the outside is very similar to what the ranch is.
Got it. I'm not hearing any other questions from the board. Is that correct? Well, this is not a public hearing. This is just a determining meeting to decide whether we want to bring it back to public hearing because we believe these changes aren't minimal, or if we can vote to say these are minimal changes and just approve. So, I wouldn't normally turn it to the public for input on this particular case because it's not a public hearing. However, if the board likes, we do have a couple of people here. We can give them an opportunity to voice in the understanding that this isn't a public hearing. I'm okay with that as chair, and I like to hear the voices of others. Is there anyone here from the public that wishes to speak on this, understanding this is not a public hearing?
Can I ask a question about that?
Sure.
Before we open, James, how is this not a public hearing? Because the board is meeting. I mean, we have a quorum.
Sorry, go ahead, Dylan.
I was going to say, so this is a public meeting, which just means it's a meeting that we're open to the public. But yeah, the hearing would be something that would require an advertisement under Mass General Law.
I understand. So it's a public meeting. Got it. I was confused.
If I said meeting, I meant to say hearing. I don't quite remember what I said that came out of my mouth, so retcon.
Good question, Chris. Yeah,
Yeah.
Right. Glad that we're all clear now. But Jamie, to your point, if there are some folks from the public with a...
We'd love to hear from
Yes.
you. So does anyone...
Sorry.
Go ahead, Dylan.
I'm just getting a message here from Harry Schumann right now that his audio will not work. Let me just ask if he had a question here I can put in here.
Okay, while you're doing that, let's see if we can hear from the public. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak? If so, go ahead and speak. Going once. Going twice. Okay. So personally, I think this is a minimal change. Unless anyone from the board disagrees with me, I'd be looking for a motion to find this a minimal change.
I also agree, Jamie. I think, especially the driver behind it being that this is kind of what the market is dictating, and that this style already exists. I second that, and I'll make a motion to bind this as a non-significant change or minor change that does not require reopening of a public hearing.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any against or abstentions? Now we do have 4 members here, even though we lost Harry, so that still applies. So I think we're good. I know you're texting Harry. It's unfortunate that he kind of missed out on that, but that doesn't influence, because we have 4 members voting in favor of this, that shouldn't influence that decision at all. Okay, thank you very much. I don't think there's anything else that's required there from you. We don't need to do anything. Is that correct, Dylan? There's no paperwork involved?
Yep, nope, that's correct. It'll just be reflected on the minutes.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
For the rest of the board, I don't have anything else on the agenda. You didn't have any announcements, did you, Dylan?
Right now, just to keep you guys posted on what's happening over in the planning department, we did have somebody accept the role for planning director. Unfortunately, they have just recently backed out of that acceptance, so we are continuing the search for a planning director. So things are still in the works. I'll keep you guys updated as we get something, but for the time being, we shall see.
I heard about the acceptance, but not the back out. That's too bad. I know how difficult it is to fill these slots. Thank you for your good work, Dylan. It's very much appreciated. I just want to take a moment to say, Harry, you were disconnected. We voted to find the change minimal. Sorry you were away for that. Can you hear us now? Okay, I guess not. We have nothing else, so I'm looking for that very special motion that I often do.
I will make a motion to adjourn this meeting.
Okay, is there a second?
It's like it's very French there.
That's okay.
Just to confirm, our next meeting will be the 4th.
June 4th, 6 p.m. If something's on the agenda.
No, I agree. I just want to make sure I've got it blocked out just in case.
Yeah, we. Oh, I should double check while I've got you here. You've been getting my emails now, Dan?
Yes. Yeah, we're good.
I will. I'll let you all know if we get something. It's been surprisingly quiet here at the planning board, which I hope you guys are taking that as relief after the work you guys did over at Tasty Top.
Nice.
And now it's kind of been inverted where now the zoning board of appeals is about to be the ones getting slammed. So you guys hopefully will be able to relax and enjoy the summer a little bit, but I'll let you know, obviously, as things come in.
Our condolences to the ZBA. I have a motion on the floor and no second.
I second. Oh, go ahead.
I couldn't get to Ken. He was ready to go. Ken is second, and all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and I even got Harry in at that time. All right, guys, have a great night. That was everybody unanimous. We'll see you on the 4th.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.